so exciting, and I'm so excited about today's show because, as I indicated, there is another person who is doing so great when it comes to startups. And as I said before, went for the break, I've not seen anyone who has been given a lot of information on startups, sharing his own experiences on social media just to help other people than this man right here with us. His name, okay, first of all, before his name, he is a startup business development analyst. He is a car consultant and the CEO of Cecil Ventures. His name is Emmanuel E.K. Aumi. Welcome to Live Chat, sir.
You're welcome.
It's great
Thank you.
having you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
So exciting. And today we are going to talk about how to start a sustainable business, how to
Right.
start a sustainable business. And when it comes to startup, as I said, you are so great about that. First of all, how do we start a business?
A business.
Yeah.
Right. To talk about starting a business, we're looking at two streams of it. Either you are preparing to start a business or you are too late to start a business. Right. Preparing to start a business meaning you've identified what you want to do and then initiating the move even in terms of your educational path as to whether you want to go through the regular educational stream, technical or vocational education, to build upon what you actually want to do. So you want to have that aspect of group of persons who have been able to identify at the early stage what they want to accomplish in life and preparing towards it by taking the right educational structure to build upon it, and then they roll straight into their dream objective. Then we have those who've not been able to do that self-introspection to identify and discover exactly what they want to do, but midway in life, they realize, no, this is not the way I want to go. This is rather what I want to do. And they want to start from that point. Okay, so
Yes.
we have two streams of people that we want to deal with in terms of starting a business.
Let's focus on those who have just realized that no, this is the way I want to go, because I'm sure those who have identified perhaps they are schooling and how to go about it. But let's start with those who have just realized that, oh, this is the way I have to go.
Exactly.
What do they do? What should they do?
Good. Now, in terms of those who've been able to discover later as to what they want to do, we have among that category of persons who cannot really define clearly what they want to do. And so we're going to address both parties within that same circle.
Exactly.
Now, you want to do a self-introspection of yourself to find out what is it that you can do best. Now, we talk about career path. Now, what you can do migrates you to become what you want to be. So what you can do is like the beginning of the journey, and then it directs you to become what you want to become. So what you can do best is what you try to find out from that self-introspection you do into yourself. So what is it that I can do best? Now, once you identify yourself, that's self-discovery, you identify exactly what you think you can do best, you then want to nurture that. Go into it and find out how do you even initiate what you can do. Right. So you look at it as a holistic unit and then you break it down and see how do I initiate that particular program. So, for instance, you want to set up a barbering salon. Okay, so you know that you need certain equipment to be able to set up eventually. So how do you approach it? You want to approach it by first buying your clippers, which is the machine they use for barbering. Now, that clipper needs money to be bought, to be used to buy it. But then you don't have the money to buy the clipper. So how do you even buy the clipper? So here we want to institute the virtual business concept. Now, the virtual business concept is a situation where you have an idea of a product that you want to manufacture or that you want to do, but you have the skill of organization, management, and control. And so what you want to do is, I want to do A, B, C. Who are those in the industry that I can fall on to put this A, B, C together to achieve and make some money? All right. So what you need is having the idea and being able to identify those whose activities in society, whose works in society can be put together to achieve your concept.
Okay.
All right. So you want to get into that. So for instance, you go into the market, you want to raise some money to buy this clipper. You are a set designer. That means you can set up structures in offices or have structures set up in the shop where they can put provisions and whatever. If that is your idea, all you need is to find the carpenter, because you are the designer. You have the concept in mind. So you bring in the carpenter, who then can come and do the setup for you, because you've got a setup contract. When the money comes, who does it come to?
You.
It comes to you. You pay the carpenter, and then you make the money. That money can then be used to do what? To buy the clipper, buy all the other chairs and stuff that you need, and eventually you start your business. So there are situations where you want to fall on the banks or family persons to help you with fund support to start up. If you have access to such fund support, you are blessed. But there are people who don't even have anyone to help them with cash. They are those I have just addressed, where you can initiate a move and raise money without anybody supporting you.
Right. I know before you go on with that, the example you just gave. So if I know that I can set, you earlier said that you need to identify what you are good at or what you can do.
Do best.
So
yes.
you can do best. So if I know I can do that set and get money in it, why do I have to raise money from the set and go and set up, say, a barbering salon?
Best. So your passion, desire, and what you can do best is barbering, not artwork.
Okay.
All right? So the artwork become an option, a support to you leveraging on that to really accomplish your dream objective in life.
Okay.
So it is just like being an MD in an office, but you can drive, and driving is not your profession.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, so you are leveraging on the art of driving to drive your car and go to your workplace. But there are some people who have taken driving as their main profession. Okay, so you have learned how to drive in order to aid your ability to drive yourself to work.
Right.
Meanwhile, you could have leveraged on a driver, a professional driver, to be taking you to work whilst you pay him. Okay, so it is as to exactly what you want, what you prefer, and what you want to accomplish, having the passion and driving it to let you achieve your dream objective. So you look at the passion of what you can do best, leverage on other supporting businesses
Okay.
that are not your actual core business you want to do. You leverage on them to support your core business. So for instance, I am into cars. I detail cars. Now, before I was able to get my equipment to start working on cars and detailing cars, I was leveraging on the situation where I come to offices because I have this artistic acumen. So I can set up an office structure to meet your desire. Okay, so you want to partition an office into several different offices, for instance. I have that acumen to be able to do the design pattern, but leverage on a carpenter who can really structure the place to meet that standard and fitness. Okay, so I leverage on that, and I use that process to raise money before I was able to even buy my first machine.
Wow.
Okay, and I went into office vertical blinds fixing, carpet laying, and all that. Okay, these are passion things I like to do.
Yeah.
And so I don't have the money to be able to go buy or import a carpet. So what do? I leverage on carpet sellers.
Okay.
I don't have the money to import furniture for the office. So I leverage on furniture sellers. So what I try to do is credibility. I call it the natural capital of human. When you are able to be credible and people trust your abilities and your deliveries and your honesty, credit is given to you on products. So I try to build credibility to start. And so I come to you, and whatever I tell you, you believe me because I will deliver and do exactly my promise to you. So I leverage on credibility to get a lot of credit facilities to do my work, okay, at the beginning stage. And that helped me to initiate the major program I have now, which is the car care business I'm doing.
Yes. That's really great. So are all businesses like that? Are all businesses you can do other things, or you need huge sums to be able to start?
Good. Now, what I've come to realize is that most of the time we want to own businesses instead of running businesses. And that brings the challenge. Okay, business is a platform. The unique thing about a business is that you have a product. Now, that product is placed on a business platform to run. That is why we have different business models. We have management structures that are in place that are used universally. Business models are used universally. But the unique product you have belongs to you. So what you need to do is placing that unique product on the business platform and then running it. So me, most of the time, want to start a business, I want to own my own office. I want to own my own car. I want to own my own machine. And so these are capital intensive items. Meanwhile, you have a product. And for example, spraying a car, the ability to spray a car is an art. Now, you have come out to say, I can spray this car. That is the artwork. That is what you've learned. That is your product that you are delivering. Okay. Now, before you spray that car, you need what we call an oven. Okay. This is a chamber in which the car is driven into, sprayed such that you can have an even level distribution of the paint on the car body. But this is an expensive unit. Okay. So to raise money to buy the oven before you start spraying will cost you. So you might end up never starting to spray. So what do? You leverage on someone who have an oven and will charge you to use the oven. All right? So you have the product as that unit of the art of spraying. So how much do you charge for do you pay for the oven? You just pay about a 50 or 100 cedis. You've given access to the oven, and then you spray your car, and then you deliver to your client.
Okay.
You get it?
Yeah, I get it.
You saved yourself so much money from buying that oven. So as you go through that process across time and you build up enough capital, and you now want to own your own oven, then you can move to that stage. That is building your career along the line.
I'm getting a lot of business ideas. I don't know what I'm going to do from here. So, but I have access to you all the time. So perhaps after this, I'll continue to consult you and see which one I'm going to start with. This is Live Chat with Paul, and my guest today on the personality chat. But we are not talking about his person, because if we want to, perhaps we will not finish now, because he's been in the entrepreneurial space for 30 years. This year he will be 30. That's so amazing. So he has a lot of experiences to share. All those things that he's sharing, I realize that is part of his experiences, and he's sharing with that. And that's practical way of starting your business. We'll take a short break, and when we come back, we'll continue with him. It's Live Chat with Paul, and like I said earlier, Promasidor has given some products to be given to you, and is on this show, Live Chat with Paul. And so it's Yamvita. And right now, I think the line has been rectified. So you can call, and when you get in, we'll ask you a simple question, and you'll be able to get that fantastic product or hamper for yourself and your kit as well. It's yummy. It's Yamvita. So yes, Brother Emmanuel. So we are talking about startups and all that. Now you talk about the fact that you can use what you have to get what you want, and you do the things that you can do best. So what do you do after that? Apart from these, are there other things perhaps you need to do to be able to stay in the game or to sustain it?
Yes. What you need to do is to build your capacity. Knowledge is strength. Now, in every environment and terrain, the dynamics within the entrepreneurial ecosystem, it's such that you need a lot of information and also leveraging on expert or experienced persons for mentorship, because it's a very difficult terrain such that if you are not nurtured and given the rightful information, your investment might even run down. Okay. And so based on this, for instance, having been in the entrepreneurial ecosystem for 30 years, I have started this initiative called the Cecil Entrepreneurial Coffee Session, which is a very informal session to help people of this caliber. So you come in there, and it's a very unique environment. You can freely express your sentiments in any form, and we're able to use our experience to help and guide you. Right. Beyond that, any entrepreneurial program where you need, you can get information, try and leverage, and also get mentorship to build your business and sustain it.
A great idea, but we have a caller on the line. Hello, good afternoon, and where are you calling from?
Good afternoon. This is Emmanuel, and I'm calling from Temanyuta.
Oh, okay, Emmanuel. How are you doing, and Happy New Year?
Oh, happy many returns.
Good. How old is ETV now?
ETV is 10 years now.
Right, and what's your favorite program on ETV?
Late night celebrity show.
Great. So you get a hamper from Promasido. So hold on for the producer. He will take your number, and then you can come for a nice hamper from Promasido, and it's yummy, Yamvita, one of their products, Yamvita. Thanks so much, Emmanuel, for calling. Yeah, so you talked about empowering yourself or developing yourself. You see a lot of these workshops and conferences, some of them, it looks like sometimes they are very expensive, and sometimes you live there, you go there and you live there with almost nothing, because the things, the practical, maybe some of the things that are said, you only come and you are unable to implement.
Good. Most often to much of such formal seminars, formal environment seminars and workshops that are organized, a lot of entrepreneurial jargons are used, okay, which tends to confuse some of the up-and-coming startup entrepreneurs. And so they come and they only listen, they rather get confused the more and walk away. Okay, so this is why you realize in my presentations, I haven't used several jargons. So for instance, you talk about minimum viable product. Okay, what we just talked about means the minimum, using the minimum viable product concept, which means you are using the smallest unit out of whatever you want to start to use to build a business up. Okay, so if you just use jargons in an environment where it's not all people who are equal leveled when it comes to education, you tend to stifle some from benefiting from the concept. And so that is why we try to create that enabling environment, especially with the Cecil Entrepreneurial Coffee Session, so that all persons from all angles, you can freely really talk. Now, in such formal environments, some people have issues that they really want to talk about, but for lack of expression, they shy away from even wanting to ask questions. For lack of knowledge, they are unable to identify exactly what they need to ask and even get assistance. And so they just go back and forth into such conferences without coming out with any good report. Okay, so I will also want to urge, in formal sessions like this, they should look at those who are unable to really even express themselves, because most of these entrepreneurial issues are so personal. Okay?
Yes.
And so when you don't have that personal touch in trying to resolve your issues, you will go to conferences over and over and you still remain the same.
Wow. So now we know that you need to develop yourself. You need to use what you have. I think you use a term for it.
The minimum viable
Yeah.
product. Yeah.
Okay, good. So all these, you need these things to be able to start and all that. So apart from the self-development and all those things, what will be maybe your final tip for today?
Yes, my final tip for today, since we're talking about entrepreneurship, is that everyone within the entrepreneurial space, especially the prospective ones, envisage that the entrepreneurial journey is full of challenges. It looks very lousy, very lofty as we talk about it, but has a lot of challenges. So you should be a problem-solving expert. Learn to know how to solve problems. The problems will come, but don't let it hit you down. Okay, and I always say that failures are not evil. It is only a measure to correct the mistakes we made and move on. And so just psych yourself and know that the challenges are there, but once you put yourself to it, be consistent and be solid on the ground. When you fall, rise up and move on. Consistency is what will make you succeed when it comes to entrepreneurship.
Very interesting. Having been somebody who follows you sometimes, talking about when you fall, rise up again, I can understand why you say that. So I think this is live chat, and you can follow us on our various social media platforms at ETV, at ETV on Twitter now, at ETV at 10 on Twitter, and on Facebook as well. And are you on Facebook? Yes, I've been following you on Facebook. So what's your handle?
Yeah, 4SE program, at 4SE program.
Okay, at 4SE program, and you can get a lot of tips from him as well. Is there a final word you would like to say?
I would like to say that entrepreneurship is what we need to develop our economy, because most people have ideas. I say that who stand in the gap for those who failed in school? Who stand in the gap for those who failed in business? They are not useless. It is just because of probably a mistake that made someone fail. That doesn't mean the person is a failure. So we should direct some of our programs tailored towards getting these people out of their situation. Because sometimes they coil in because of that stigma society tags at them. But then they have a lot of resources in them that can be nurtured to contribute in support of the economy.
Thank you so much. That's Emmanuel E.K. Awumi, and he is a startup business development consultant, analyst rather. And then he's a car consultant, also the CEO of Cecil Ventures. Thank you so much for being part of the show. My first edition in the year 2020, and I hope you have enough tips to start your own business. This is Live Chat. We take our financial tip. So much for being part of the show today. I believe you've been inspired, you've been empowered and motivated as well to do whatever you want to do. As I indicated, my outfit is provided by Osasio Fashion, and you can find them on Facebook, or you can also give them a call on 0243 663 884. Osasio Fashion, style your occasion. Always remember that God is with you. Call on him and he will answer you. My name is Paul Anomakodi. Thanks for watching.